Hello guys, this is Justin, the Ottawa Expositor, on this 31st of January of 2015. And today I will be exposing this two-part series by WeAreChange, where Luke Radowski interviews Alex Grey, a quote-unquote visionary artist. And basically I'm going to show you how absolutely New Age this guy is. And if you guys aren't familiar with the New Age, I suggest you look into it, because this is the religion of the New World Order that they're pushing on many, many different fronts that they will be working to make as one as time passes. But as for now, they're trying to sow roots in, and now they're doing it with this so-called truth channel. And if there's one thing I hate is when people who are looking for the truth, and then they have a channel that is what I strongly believe is willfully leading them astray. Luke, I think you know better on this, and I'm going to show exactly why we should know much better than to trust this guy. So here you are, we're talking about, first off, in this first episode, they're talking about spirituality, and basically what it comes down to is that we should just do drugs. You know, they're talking about there's so many things that you can do to unleash your spirituality. LSD, mushrooms, peyote, ayahuasca. Not once do they ever talk about how you should be respecting the power of these drugs, you know. But, you know, then they're saying, oh, weed, man. It's like, oh, look at George Washington with the pipe in his hand, with the 666 symbol, might I add. Anybody here that smokes weed? You know, do you smoke your pipe like that? Is that how you hold your pipe? You know? But anyways, as they're laughing about that, take a look in the back here. You can see the eye in the triangle, you know, and this is actually the logo of Alex Grey's church. Yes, their 501c tax-exempt church called the Chapel of Sacred Mirrors. Okay, and as you can see there, that is a total Illuminati eye. Okay, and here is their explanation on that.
That has been used also by other people in power. It's been used by corporations a lot of the times. I was wondering, what does the symbol mean to you? What kind of importance does it have to you? And is there any maybe historical background to why the symbol is so important to you guys?
Well, as a child, I used to draw a cartoon of an eye in a triangle. And it was a character that I just always drew. And so partly the reason is that it's been something I've always drawn, but because of that, kind of being born with it and thinking like this is perhaps it was I just looked at a dollar bill once and got zapped, you know, as a child or something, or it came in.
Can I tell you what the symbol means in a very few words, and then you can continue? The pointing up is higher vision. As artists, we're symbol makers. As everything in the world, we're symbol makers. It's creative manifestation. So Alex says that the symbols represent creative manifestation. So through higher vision, or the eye of God, you could say, creative manifestation. We create and we manifest with the higher vision. And that's really with what COSM, Chapel of Sacred Mirrors, represents.
Yeah, so you just thought of it as a child, did you? So came up with it, you just drew it. Yeah, just might have gotten it from a $1 bill. You know, yeah, even your wife didn't believe you, but we'll get to her now in a moment. But as for you, let's take a look at how many things, you know, maybe that 666 sign that you just did, maybe in the first second of the video, maybe, you know, you just thought of that as a kid too, right? You know, well, maybe that's a hand gesture. So let's take a look at this photo with him and all of his buddies. There he is down in the front row, like closer to the left, center left, and they're all throwing up the 666 signs. Oh, well, how about that, right? So let's go through his artwork and see how New Age this really is, if it really is visionary as he keeps talking about. So here we go. Here's one of his paintings here, and you can see Saturn and the moon, because no cult is complete without the Saturn and the moon worship, right? And then circled in yellow, you can see the phoenix, which is rising, or it could be multiple different birds, but many people associate it with the phoenix, and a whale as well. So you have the phoenix and the whale. You also have the two fingers pointing upward with the eye in the center. And then you also have the false Jesus with the Sacred Heart in the center, which is exclusively Catholic. But you'll see now why that is. We have the Seal of Solomon. We have him looking, white as white can be, even though Jesus was Semitic. And you have the two angels kneeling down in technicolors, and one of them has a sword on the right. And then moving on, you can see this pattern here. What does that remind you of? Well, as you can see later in the video, you can see it is a pine cone that it is representing. And you would see that in many different New Age artwork because it is very heavily in with occult symbolism. I will show you this now in one moment. And the last picture I want to show you that he has done was the Obama photo that he will be defending later on in this video. But I just wanted to show you there, as you can see, that globe is right in his place where the third eye or the pineal gland should be, like the pine cone. And let's see where we can find all of this in one neat package, huh? Well, this is the Basilica in Paris. This is a mural, okay? And as you can see, right up in the top center, we have the guy with the two fingers pointing upwards. Right above him, you have the bird that is flying out with an illuminated body, just like in Alex's photos. You have the false Jesus with the halo around him there, the Sacred Heart. And as you can see down below, you have someone giving him, Jesus, a world that is kneeling down, and over on the other side you have a technicolored Jeanne d'Arc, and she is sporting a sword as well. I mean, how uncanny does this get? This is exactly the same crap that you see in any Catholic basilica. And as you can see here, this is a pine cone that is right in front of the Vatican. So as you can see, I mean, I don't think this is all stuff that he thought of as a child. I think he knows a lot more about what he's doing than what he's letting on, and I'm pretty sure his wife didn't buy it either, and that's why she had to chime in with what I think is too much, because the look on his face was like, oh no, what did she just say? And so a good way to tell a cult is by their terminology. So when she said creative manifestation, I had to look it up, and lo and behold, what do you get here for the results? It's nothing but New Age crap. And I just realized it's the seven-petaled flower, just like that is in the photo in their interview, the drawing that he did. And it's all really based on fractal geometry and Fibonacci sequence, the golden ratio. So as you can see here with fractal geometry, it's just things inversing themselves and to create a more detailed and an infinitely detailed picture. And that's exactly what he does in his artwork, except he just colors it in and adds eyeballs. Like, he's not even all that good. And as you can see here, that's what he did with his light. She's describing it as pointing upwards only, but of course you have to do the downwards triangle as well, which is as above, so below. But anyways, as you can see, he's not that talented. He's just a rule follower, right? He just follows the sequence. But yeah, on to the Obama thing.
You stand behind that painting. What's your position, if I could ask you?
Okay, well, the painting was done in October of before the election of the first election of Obama. And so I believed then, and I still believe, that he was better than the opposition, and that we needed to get away from the reptilian. 6 years ago, when Obama was running for election and things like that, he was celebrated around the world. They were saying, "Oh my God, please, anything but George Bush." I mean, this is like 100% better.
Right. Okay. So those comments there, that's actually going to lead us to this episode's edition of Know Your Fallacies, and we're going to start with the not as badass fallacy, or if you want to sound all technical and smart, it would be the fallacy of relative privation. So this is a form of a moral equivalence fallacy that takes note of the existence of things that are worse than what is actually under discussion, for different purposes as outlined below. It's popular with people who know perfectly well they're doing something wrong, being fully aware that they are doing something wrong. They feel compelled to attempt to justify it and do so by pointing to other, usually worse, actions. And there are a few different reasons why someone will want to pull a not as bad as comparison, but we're going to look at the one that he committed here. So, therefore, a generic argument about something. A, we're talking about Obama. And so he says B happened, in this case it's actually Bush, and is worse than Obama. Therefore, Obama, A, is justified. Or the support of Obama is justified. And this is the most blatantly fallacious form of the argument and is a hindsight version of the not as bad as argument that states past actions can legitimize current actions. The existence of a worse atrocity in the past, however, does not actually justify anything. It merely points out that there have been similar things in the past. People who use this as a justification may be well aware that it's logically fallacious and use it purely as rhetoric or as a distraction. Like you heard in the Max Resistance Roundtable last week, rhetoric is very important to anybody that wants to pass off things that are not truthful. So, as you can see here, he's talking about, Bush was worse than Obama, which is definitely debatable, but who cares, because they're both on the same side. If you claim to be a spiritual leader and you still think Republicans are better than Democrats or Democrats are better than Republicans and they're not actually working together, you are not spiritually elevated in any way, at least when it comes to politics. I'll say that much. So if you want to get political, obviously, sir, you're not as enlightened as you make yourself out to be. And then also, too, another one of their reasons to justify it. 6 years ago when Obama was running for election and things like that, he was celebrated around the world, Alex says. They were saying, oh my God, please, anything but George Bush. This is like 100% better. So this is actually called the appeal to popular opinion, or the argumentum ad populum. And basically, it's saying that a proposition is true because many or most people believe it. Okay? If many believe so, it is so, which is possibly the worst thing you can do if you're a spiritual leader, because if you're a spiritual leader, you should have a connection that's through the bullshit of the world, okay? So you don't just hop on a bandwagon just because it's popular and then expect to defend your views because it was popular in the past. It's absolutely ridiculous, but that's it. This is our spiritually enlightened person from the Church of Sacred Mirrors that our boy Luke Rudkowski feels like it was worth his while to interview. Well, let me tell you something, guys. If anybody is trying to push off this new age, okay, this crap as new spirituality, I've just proven to you that it has been in culture, occult culture, for hundreds of years, if not thousands, okay? This crap, there's nothing new under the sun, guys. And Luke Rudkowski is just another one of those people who claim to be a truth channel and then lead you astray by having interviews with idiots like this and get you blinded to the truth that, oh yeah, maybe this triangle with the red and blue and the 666 in the center, oh yeah, no, it has nothing to do with masonry. Well, let me show you one more thing before I let you go, guys, and thanks for listening. Subscribe below. But I want to show you this one thing. I was on his Twitter, and he passes a shout-out to Ludwig van Beethoven on his birthday. But take a look at this picture. And you see the sun with the eye right on his forehead where the pineal gland should be. Well, let's count down how many rays are on that sun. And as you can see here, it's 33. Well, you must have just thought of that as a child too, huh? Yeah. Well, I think I have exposed this guy enough. This could have been an hour-long thing. Let me know if you'd like me to go further on this, because there is so much dirt on this guy, it's not even funny. But guys, other than that, thank you very much for your time. Have a great day.